Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnek here, once again for Extra Time, post yet another match. In fact, this was Game 6, if I'm not wrong, between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and, of course, Sunrisers Hyderabad. And, oh my gosh, second game in a row now we've had a form of implosion of a side that should have probably have won. Sunrisers Hyderabad were in ascendancy yet again after a great innings by Dave Warner of some 54 runs. They looked like they were doing particularly well, and yet again, there's been a form of implosion. A cavalcade of wickets towards the end, a very cool head from the likes of Kohli, the likes of Dan Christian, AB de Villiers, and a team that really handled themselves well. The bowling of Shabazz, it was quite incredible to see them lose after RCB scored 149, which shouldn't have been enough for 8. But then the Sunrise Hyderabad only scored 143 off 9, 6 runs short. A game which, again, is frustratingly gone against a team that should have actually won. But hats off to RCB. They certainly have deserved their position. Again, there's a change to their side this year. There's a certain amount of ability to win a match, a certain amount of confidence. I'm expecting RCB yet again to be in the top 3, along with Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians. We've got 2 lovely people here. Sunshooter from the Bharat Army, who seems a million miles from your camera. Are you only 2 foot tall? You look, that's better. Let's look bigger. There we are. And Debashis Sen, who is 2 foot tall. No, is actually also here. And the reality is we've got 2 gentlemen here that know their stuff, know their cricket. And we'll be talking at some length about the match. In fact, I'm still shaking my head. I watched that match and I'm thinking, wicket after wicket's falling. A lot of poor shots, a lot of hastily made shots when they could have actually, again, measured their batting. I think there's an element of hurriedness, that's a word, an element of haste, which is unnecessary. I think a cool head needed, I didn't quite have it. Jason Holder certainly is a cool head, but played a full shot the middle off. But before we actually get into the match, I think we need to actually go out talking about our new sponsor and get more of a handle on what is actually involved with My 11. And the fact is that the actual company, My 11, is one of the most amazing companies I've seen in terms of fantasy cricket. They have the My 11 Circle is deemed to be the fantasy sports app of apps. That they have a lot to offer in terms of the way they have theirs. Let's go through some of the details, shall we? You can win 1 crore of rupees as a first prize, which is amazing. You can actually beat the likes of VVS Luxman and get a chance to win 5 times the cash. Quite an incredible thing. Download now and get 1,500 rupees straight up by joining as a bonus, and 20% extra cash as well. Quite a benefit to do so. Why don't you join My 11 Circle? Great company that it is. Now, I'm also a great company as well. Well, not a great company, but just great company. Do you guys agree? Am I a great company?
Absolutely, Norman. You have been you have been the star for this show.
Oh, really? Well, where's my star dressing room then? You haven't given me a star. We'll worry about that later.
Have you got your chocolate biscuits out there?
I haven't got any chocolate biscuits. Did you see my chocolate biscuit? I've got a tin. It shakes like one. Yes, there is a chocolate biscuit in there. We'll wait and see about that later. All right, now, the reality is, guys, Sanjay, what top are you wearing? What's your top today?
I was a neutral supporter, so I'm wearing the Indian jersey just to represent the Bharat Army colours.
Right. So you're in neutral territory, okay. What's your team again?
Well, it's unfortunately Rajasthan Royals who have not started off the season well, but yeah, that's how it is.
Let's not talk about that, you reckon? Let's not talk about it. In fact, there's been a few players dropped today, haven't we? We've had Norgay with a COVID-19 positive result. Not good news. I'm not sure if that means, I don't know whether Rabada's been cleared. Has Rabada been cleared? Do you know?
Yeah, Rabada is cleared. Rabada is cleared to play. Yeah.
Right, which is a bit of a setback in that regard. But let's get back to this match here. RCB, I can't help, and I mentioned it off air to these 2 gentlemen, RCB have got an air of confidence, an air of winning about them, determination. Obviously, Kohli and AB de Villiers and the like, and obviously Maxwell's a major influence. I still have the smoky about Dan Christian. As soon as Dan Christian touches that ball, he walks on that pitch, He's got this Midas touch. He almost thinks, I know how to win, guys. I've won this tournament, the CPL, the PBL, the da-da-da-L, every L that you can imagine he's won. And he's won with great. Even the BBL only recently he won it as well. He seems to have this Midas touch. I'd have him in the side, even if he had one leg. If he was on the leg, I'd still have him in the side because he's such a tremendous confidence. If you watch during a game, and I made this point earlier to Debashis and Sanjit, you watch the game, watch Kohli's face, watch who he talks to. He's constantly making eye contact with Dan Christian. Quite incredible. Very significant situation there. I think the level of confidence that comes out of Kohli is being propped up by Dan Christian. Dan Christian seems to have the nod about what's going on. The unofficial captain, you could argue, which I think is an intriguing aspect of this that I've noticed. Very, very intriguing. Let's look at this. Let's look at the card, shall we? I mean, obviously, Virat Kohli started off quite handsomely. Padikkal, I was expecting more out of Padikkal. I really was. I've got this sense of expectancy with Padikkal now. He's been talked up quite a bit because of his domestic season. And I'm not saying he's yet to deliver, but I want him to see deliver. It's exciting to see a young player play that well. Don't you agree, Navashis?
Absolutely, Norman. And he did show the promise last season, and he had a great season in Vijay Hazare Trophy and Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy. So I think he will definitely make it to that Indian side, if I'm not wrong, because he has the potentiality and the talent, and he displayed it in huge numbers. So I am very hopeful that when one knock doesn't prove a batsman at fault. So I still pin my hopes heavily on Padikkal to come good in this IPL, and you better watch out for Padikkal. He will definitely come good.
So he'll make that squad of now 70 players that are going to play for India. I don't quite know how 70 goes into 11. It's going to be difficult. They're going to have to stack that suitcase very heavily. There's going to be a lot of players. But look, I haven't even mentioned Glenn Maxwell. What a performance. He batted sensationally. Look at his strike rate. His strike rate was 143. In fact, it's a lot lower than I thought. I thought it was a lot more than that. The reality is he is a significant purchase for this team. His presence is also very much evident. And actually, the minor battle between Maxwell and Warner, you may not have noticed it, but there was a battle going on there as well. They're both rivals in Australia. They're rivals on any field. The bowling of Kumar, I think Holder, they all bowled pretty well, actually. Another Rajan and Rashid Khan, yet again, Rashid Khan went for 4.5 and over. The man's a freak. He really did keep them in check. The score of 149 by RCB was basically not enough. Let's be honest. But then Warner came in and scored a magnificent 54. Really, Dave Warner, despite his 54, should have actually been there at the end. It could tell the tale of the side. They need to have one of their top three stay at the end. What's your thoughts, Sanjit? What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm quite surprised with the last two games that we just saw in the season between Mumbai Indians and KKR, and also this particular game. It was the finish was, let's say, it was a little bit of anticlimactic, and certainly really entertaining cricket at the end. But I believe that Sunrisers Hyderabad should have been able to chase it down, especially after the start that they got with David Warner and with Vridhaman Saha. I think they were 96 for 1 when before Warner fell down. So you would expect a team like Sunrisers Hyderabad having someone like Johnny Bairstow at number 4, and then the big hitters coming in. So you would expect the team to win from that situation. But kudos to Virat Kohli's captaincy to bring in Shahbaz in that 16th or 17th, though I'm not sure which was over. It was a pressure situation, and you wanted the captain to be absolutely sure with his call, and Shahbaz delivered. And what an over that was to get those crucial wickets and then bring back RCB into the game. And then after that, backed by the beautiful spell from Mohammad Siraj in the power play as well as at the end to finish up with 25 for 2. I think that's really encouraging. And you always seem to think that RCB were one team full of superstars in the batting, but you need that bowling to fire for it to be a competitive team at any point of situation. And certainly this season it is looking like that way. And Glenn Maxwell, the big money buy, has finally come into party on a difficult pitch, and he managed to score a beautiful 59. And the one key thing that I would like to highlight was the way he greeted Rashid Khan with the first ball, 6 or 4. I'm not sure if it went to or 6, but that actually showed the intent with what Maxwell had about in this particular innings, and that actually summed it up of how we went. So really good signs for RCB in this season. At the end, you need to see how consistently they could put up such performances.
I agree. I did actually mention in the pre-talk about the need for like a Glenn Maxwell to dominate Rashid Khan early. I did make mention of it. I didn't think people have played him too defensive. They try to see him off, and they need to attack him there. He still bowled sensationally and still had incredible stats, but Maxwell's intent was interesting, and I think that can be very crucial as the tournament develops. The other aspect of the game which was interesting was certainly Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj has come of age in every format. We saw his test heroics. The man needs to be there. He needs to be in the team. I don't care whether you've got your Bumrahs and your Shamis there. There's got to be a place for Siraj. There's something about his intent, his overwhelming enthusiasm that you can't leave out of the team at all. Realistically, again, Dan Christian only bowled 1 over. Dan Christian get the runs. He didn't get the run. He got no runs, but his presence. I can't keep saying that. His presence is enormous. Okay, Redman Saha, 1 off 9 balls. I'm afraid he shouldn't be in the side. I would get him out of the side. I would let Beto keep, and I'd put another batter in there because I don't think, and which would be, of course, who would come in? Well,
Ken Williams.
Yeah, but
without any doubt.
Or would he become the 5th foreign player? That's the interesting thing. But
no,
I think they need Williamson.
They need Williamson because they need to send Bairstow at the top, and they need to get Williamson in the middle because he's too good a player, and because that middle order lacks a bit of inexperience with the likes of Abdul Samad, because Abdul Samad is a decent batsman. We all watched him, but then you need someone experienced like Ken Williamson who can hold the ends and who can take you home. So I think and for me, I would say that if you would suggest, I would suggest that Sunrisers should go in with David Warner, Jason Holder, Rashid Khan, and Ken Williamson. These are the 4 foreigners for me. I may be wrong. But
say the 4 again. Let's say the 4 again.
David Warner, obviously, he is a certainty. He's the captain of the side. Rashid Khan, he's no doubts, no two ways about it. He's definitely playing. Jason Holder, obviously, is a bowling all-rounder, and Ken Williamson. These are the 4 foreign players.
So you're not saying you're not saying best, sir? You're saying, hang on, you said
Sanchez,
Holder and
or you can leave out Holder because you have the likes of Natarajan and Bhuvneshwar Kumar and to do the trick. So I would rather go with Bairstow, Warner, Williamson, and Rashid Khan.
Yes, I think you got to have Bairstow on the side. He's going to keep. He should open, be on the front from the start. Bairstow's at his best when he opens. Today he was okay, but he wasn't great. But he didn't have the opportunity to bat as an opener. Redman Saha, 1 off 9 deliveries, not good enough. That's a distinct side of a player that's not both in form and appropriate to be opening the batting. I'm sorry, he might have went well last season. He's out. He's got to be out. All right, can you read that for me, Versus?
Yeah, Rajesh Chavan, he says that Sunrisers had to change their opening order, Warner and Bairstow. Absolutely.
Well, that's confirming what we're saying.
Agreed.
I've said it from the start, to be honest. I've said it from the very start that we should have had those 2 opening. You need firepower to open the batting. It's important. As would have been, well, Stokes is now out, but it would have been the same as Stokes and Butler opening up in their team. To me, that you've got to have that opening pair that go for it now. And in the RCB's case, they've got now Kohli and Patekal together. They've got a dynamic opening partnership. You've got to start off a la Jai Surya and Kalu back in the day. That's the opening partnership. You need that dominating, aggressive standpoint from the very start. So that's what's lacking. Ridham Saha, I'm going to be very defiant here. He should not be playing on X-Backs. If they persist with him, they're making a mistake. No opening batsman should be one run after 9 balls and then get out. That's distinctly.
Exactly.
It's a horrible mental start for a team, let alone the player. All right, so I did think it was amusing how Shabazz was caught Shabazz. I like that. Pity there wasn't the third Shabazz. We would have had Shabazz, caught Shabazz, bowled Shabazz. We didn't have that today. So I just love the name. Shabazz is almost a word that I'm going to use in conjunction with my crystal ball. It's like Shabazz. It almost sounds like I must say that magically as I speak. I'm not sure about it. In fact, all right, I do digress. Dave Warner, I'm happy that he got runs today, aren't you?
Absolutely. He being the captain, obviously he missed out in the first match, but then we know what a good player he is across the format. So, and he showed it that he did let from the front. Obviously, stats partnership between him and Manish Pandey set the tone for Sunrisers in that chase. They were at one time 96 for 1 when Warner got out. So I think for me the turning point would definitely have to be Bairstow holding out to Shabazz, because had Bairstow stayed a few more overs, then things would have been different. Sunrisers would have had it easy. But then, as Luck says, obviously that I would say Bairstow dismissal was the turning point in the match.
Well, as you said, 1 for only 6 around the 13th over, they should have been cruising. It was literally run ball stuff. There's no need to any false shots. I think sometimes they're going to tone their innings down at that stage. And who would do that better than anyone? Williamson. Williamson would do that better than anyone at that particular point in the game. And they're lacking him. Saha out, Williamson in. Let's put. I think my 11 circle. Can I put the money on that and say that? I think there's a good chance. No, the reality is that certainly is. My 11 circles are fantasy team. I'm thinking that it's betting. It's not quite that, but still.
Yeah, and maybe you need to make a team now. I mean, during the course of the day from tomorrow onwards, and you have to decide on the team on the fantasy 11. I think you will do a great job. The playing 11.
Absolutely. I mean, again, I think it's pretty obvious. My 11 circle and I should almost call it Norman Koshnik's circle. We should have that perhaps as an aside. The reality is we need to be able to do it because there's some distinct mistakes being made that I think need to be corrected. All right.
Yeah, I'll read it out for you now, Norman.
I think glasses. This is like about.
It's Sion Pramanik who says Maxwell coming in at number 4 and scoring runs for RCB, whereas when he was in Kings 11 Punjab, I would say now it's Punjab Kings, he used to come in at 5 or 6 as pinch hitter and not performed well. So bad management cost Punjab Kings a lot this year.
Absolutely. Clearly, they understand what Maxwell can bring to the table, not just be a pinch hitter. He can actually bat, not so much normally, but he can control innings as well. The only thing is AB de Villiers. I mean, he got to be wary not to underutilise him as well. It's a combination of effects. When you gain with Maxwell, you lose a bit with de Villiers, you could argue. So, I mean, I could be with Padikkal and Pandya there. You've got some great players, but they at the right moment in time, they could even go really bold and open with Kohli and de Villiers. If they have an enormous total to chase, it might be worthwhile to go with those two. Then you must have a tremendous start to your innings. You must, but also one of those players have to go on and score a big score. Again, Warner scored 54 today. Maybe he should have been not out 80 odd at the end or 90 odd. I think there's some pivotal differences there. Warner's certainly played well today, but he needed to be finishing the innings. Yeah, that's what a captain needs to do.
On this point, I would like to add on is that yesterday during his post-match press conference, Andre Russell did say that when you are in, you need to make the most of it. Obviously, it's getting a little bit tougher in conditions like Chennai, for a new batsman to come in and adjust to the conditions, because the ball is stopping and coming. It is not easy for stroke players. So a batsman who is in, who has got a start, needs to carry on and take the team home. In this case, David Warner, captain of the side, leading from the front, he scored of half 50 odd. He needs to be at the, all he had to do is to stay till the end, and then and the other players would have revolved around him. So, but that was not the case. I think it's going to be very important in this IPL is that whoever the batsman is needs to make it count, needs to score a big run. If your top three score a big one, then invariably you would end up scoring almost 200 runs in on any conditions.
Exactly, and I would like to pitch in with this point about the importance of top three, especially in the conditions that we saw in Chennai, because we see the ball coming, stopping and coming onto the batsman. As the game progresses, the ball tends to get softer and softer, so it gets difficult to hit it through the line. And as we saw that happen in the second innings, where the Sunrisers Hyderabad batsman couldn't time the ball well. So that is why it is very important for these top three batsmen to be there at the end, and to ensure that the chase is complete. And we saw that not happening as yesterday also, with Nitish Rana getting a good score but then faltering at the end. So it was pivotal for SRH to maybe have David Warner at the end. But I agree that SRH needed someone like Kane Williamson in the middle order to actually help them stabilize, because someone like Johnny Best, to be honest, according to me, even though he scored well at number 4, I believe that the best position for Bairstow is at the top of the order. And if he's not batting at the top of the order, you need to have a specialized middle order batsman, that is Kane Williamson, making way. So it is actually the case of a problem of plenty for SRH. If you want to include all the three, Bairstow, David Warner, and Williamson, then you need to sacrifice an all-rounder, that is Jason Holder, who had a great day with the ball today. So it all boils down to whether what you want from your side in terms of combination. So ideally, I would really like to see, if Johnny Bairstow is not set to open in this season, as we saw in the first two matches, I would definitely have someone like Kane Williamson bat at number 4, especially in the times where the ball is actually favoring the bowlers more than the batsman in the second inning, as the pitch tends to grow, because this is the game actually suited for someone like Kane Williamson to take home. So if Bairstow is not opening, I'll definitely have Kane Williamson in my team.
Look,
And,
the
and
reality.
also, I would like to add is that Sanchit, if you could allow me, and Norman, is that Manish Pandey. He scored some 35, 38 odd from 39 balls. All he had to do is to stay till the end. That's it. Because you remember that he T20 World Selection means obviously he was dropped out. He was injured. He had to get himself dropped. But then this IPL is going to be very important for him. Still another 12 more matches to go for him. So he need to make this starts count, Norman. Means obviously he scored 38 runs. All he had to do is to stay in the wicket and give support to someone like a BS2 or a David Warner, and things would have been different. But as you might see, that he again lost an opportunity to score a big run, or rather to remain not out till the end and take the team home. So I think these he will be ruining these opportunities big time.
I mean, it was painfully obvious to us three. And again, I made it clear in the previous matches I couldn't understand why Saha was opening. I expected him to be changed this match. Now Sunrise is hard about it. What is their situation? They are 0 from 2, correct?
Yes.
So Sunrise is hard about who are somewhat fancy to be in the top 4 or 5 is 0 from 2, and certainly in games when they could have won matches. They're going to rue this. They're going to come back and haunt them a little bit. I think they've got to get their act together immediately. Saha's dropped. If he's in the next team, they're not listening. Not only to us, but I think it's painfully obvious. I'll repeat: you don't have an opening batsman in the T20 league scoring run off 9 and then getting out. I'm afraid that's, if you get one run off 9 and then you make up for it and your strike rate's high at the end, granted, it's okay. But if you're 1 from 9 and get out, well, you wasted your time being there. That's virtually 2 overs at the beginning of a match, 3 or 4 in total, which has been wasted by someone who's not scoring runs. I would never have put Sutter as an opener. Simple. Bairstow and Warner, those two firing, they'll be a none for 149. That's what you want to
Exactly.
see. You want to see a team go none for, one for. That's the way they should win these matches. They should be taking it by the scruff of the neck and not relying on any middle order and doing it themselves. Okay. Again,
Okay, Norman, I have another question for you. And Sanchit, one more thing I want to ask both is that the Chennai kind of pitches is killing the T20 game. I mean, we expect this kind of pitches in Test match on day 3s and 4. Fair enough.
yeah, that's Chennai for you. We all know Chennai. We all expect this to be the case of Chennai. I'm sorry, I'm a bit over the comments about teams saying, "Oh, it's a spinning pitch, the ball's not coming to the bat." These batters are the highest quality batters in the world. They practice day in and day out for these type of wickets, especially those that are in India who know Chennai back to front. They know their level of play. There's no excuses. If the ball comes slow on the bat, you adjust. An informed batter like Warner was today on Pandit and Kohli, these guys know what to do in those conditions. Once they arrest that situation, you could argue they're never in. That's the questions officer. They're never really in. I get that. But once you're in 30, 40, 50, 60 runs, you know the wicket. You've been playing the wicket. You're in ascendancy. The only person that can be a foil is Rashid Khan. He's the danger. But Maxwell's attitude, as you said earlier, was to attack him. I applaud that. Maxwell, significant indeed. RCB probably didn't deserve to win. You would argue something probably didn't deserve, considering where Sunrisers are at. But they're going to be a top 3 side. I'm pretty sure. Mumbai Indians and RCB, the way they've won their last 2 games against the odds, they were probably not meant to win. They've won. That mental strength is coming through all those 2 teams. Again, Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, RCB are my top 3. And I'll be defying anyone to say that anyone's going to challenge those 3 in this competition, even though it's early on. All right. I'll get my crystal ball out. I just want to confirm whether I'm seeing, yes, I'm seeing those 3 teams are swirling around in my chocolate drip there. There's an RCB, Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians combination going on there. Mark my words. All right.
Next time you're on our show, you need to wear a RCB t-shirt, Norman.
Well, if you'd like to get me one, we don't have shops at the road that have RCB t-shirts. I'm going to have a t-shirt, hopefully by the weekend, with Extra Time written on and an actual hat, and even my own one, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Cossack. I'm going to have them. I've self-made, but no one's sending me an RCB type. Nobody's sending me a Delhi Capitals.
And you need to stick a big poster of an AB de Villiers or a Virat Kohli at the back of you. As you have been trying to convince others to have their posters at the back. So
I've got Beyond Barwire. Do you know what Beyond Barwire is? Does anyone know what Beyond Barwire is? It's Jeffrey Barwire. He designed the infinity pool concept in Sri Lanka. He's now passed away, where you've got Pool Pond Beach. This book is my favourite at the moment. But I will have posters of my heroes, like Sir Donald Bradman now. If Sir Donald Bradman was at the middle now, he would be 100 not out every time. When you've got a batting average of 99.94, it doesn't take much to get 100 every match, does it, guys?
absolutely.
Sanjay, can you imagine having a batting average of 99.94? Can you believe that?
Certainly not, especially in the today's age where we actually think of someone like Steve Smith as the best test batsman in the world because of his average of 63 being the highest in the current time. So it is almost safe to say that no player would be able to reach that 99.94 feet at least anytime soon with the amount of cricket that is being played right now. So it's definitely a big feat for Sir Donald Bradman to play cricket for so long and to maintain that 99.94 average. And as someone who likes everything to have a good ending, I definitely would have wanted him to score those remaining 4 runs to have a 100 average.
Let me before we get to the question, let me just talk about Sir Donald Bradman for a minute. We say no one can score that in today's age. The wickets now are easy meat for Donald Bradman. He played when there was no such thing as a covered wicket. Sanjay, can you imagine when it rains, you still bat on that wicket. You don't wait for it to dry and all that sort of stuff. No, they just play on that wicket. Let's not compare now to then, because then was infinitely harder than now. I'll tell you now. All right, please read the questions, Russ.
Yeah, Gigi Bowie, he says that do you think Manish Pandey is just focusing too much on anchoring and is taking out his main skill, which is attack till you can?
Should I take this one?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, Sanchit.
Yeah, certainly. This case, the curious case of Manish Pandey, has actually baffled most of us because he's actually much better batsman than what we are actually seeing him batting for SRH in this particular season. Because yes, I agree that he is actually focusing too much on being the anchor, and that boils down to the scenario whether he's batting cautiously just to protect the vulnerable middle order that SRH currently have, as they are lacking someone like Kane Williamson at number 4. So maybe that could be the reason that why someone like Manish Pandey is playing an anchor and maybe batting over cautious. So yeah, maybe this could actually work in their favor if they had a formidable middle order. So if Kane Williamson is set to come back in the remaining games, then I would definitely not be surprised if Manish Pandey gets back to his attacking form of game, which actually suits him, by the way, as we have seen over the years when he played for SI. He has actually scored over 750 runs batting at number 3 for Sunrisers Hyderabad. So that just shows the caliber of this man. So uh, ex- exactly, and he's not actually the batsman that he is actually batting in this particular season. He's definitely going to work on the role that XRH management wants him to be. So I definitely feel that it is because of the lack of experience in the middle order that is prompting Manish Pandey to play this way.
Well, there's no doubt this will be my batting order. You're going to have Bairstow, Warner, Pandey, and then Williamson. That's it. Whatever the rest of the makeup of the team is decision of the selectors, but that's my top 4. And if Sunrisers Hyderabad are going to have a hope of getting into the playoffs, let alone winning this, they need that batting order every single time. And I'm a bit annoyed they've persisted with Sahar. They should not have persisted with him. Now they've got no choice. They've lost 2 matches in a row. They can't afford to win a 3rd match in a row. All right. I look at the bowlers again of RCB.
And
Siraj.
maybe Norman, just to interrupt you, sorry, I would say that you have someone like Kedar Jadhav in your they have brought Kedar Jadhav this season. So why not give an opportunity to Kedar Jadhav in the middle order, because he was almost a regular in the Chennai Super Kings side when they did so well. Means so why not try Kedar Jadhav in the middle order? Only in that case you can have 3 batsmen that you have named: Warner, Bairstow, and Williamson playing in that playing 11. And else I don't see them. I don't see Williamson getting a chance until and unless you have someone experienced like Kedar Jadhav batting in at the middle order.
Fair point. Fair point. Harsh. I was going to talk about Harsha Patel. They found the right bowler for the death, haven't they? Really, he's tremendous. I even like I like his bowling action too. There's something about it I like it. So Jamieson, he's been pretty good. Probably not quite at his best, but he's been pretty good. But Mohammad Siraj, there's something about that guy. He's grown another leg, hasn't he, since Australia? He really has. He had the weight of his shoulders, the whole of India on his shoulders during the Test series. He went from not being in the side as a bowler to being the leading bowler of the pack. Quite an incredible feat. And I think the likes of Mitchell Stark and Hazelwood and Cummins, to a lesser extent, but certainly Stark and Hazelwood need to have a good look at the way Siraj bowls. And of course, just a bit of a segue, New South Wales are playing Queensland in the so-called Sheffield Shield final starting tomorrow. And I mean, I've been posting on my particular YouTube page about that. But they've got Stark and Hazelwood and Lyon in the New South Wales side, virtually an Australian bowling attack. But I hope New South Wales win. Also, Tobias and Sunshine, there's another game that I know this is about the IPL, but we should not forget that Pakistan have beaten South Africa. Pakistan were 1 for 205. They dominated quite significantly, scoring the 203 in 18 overs. Very impressive performance. Again, I've been talking about the opening 3 carrying across the line. That's the sort of scoreline that I would expect to see from one of these IPL sides if they're going to win this competition. They've got to start to win games handsomely to put the scare through the rest of the camp, so to speak. All right. Not that we need to go to the next game necessarily yet, but Delhi Capitals, Rajasthan Royals. I'm afraid, Sanchit, your Rajasthan Royals are in some deep trouble. I think they're going to be facing a red-hot Delhi Capitals. I'm saying very clearly the Delhi Capitals are going to win that very well. And as in Mumbai, it should suit both teams, but I think Delhi will give them a shellacking.
Certainly, and the recent record actually favors Delhi Capitals more, because since 2018, when Rajasthan Royals made a comeback into the IPL, the head-to-head actually, when they played the 6 games since 2018, RR has only won one game and Delhi Capitals have won 5. So that actually shows the dominance Delhi has had over Rajasthan over the years, and that actually boils down to the one man that all of the Rajasthan Royals fan fear the most, and that is Rishabh Pant in the middle overs, because he has scored, I think, 225 runs in 5 innings against us at a strike rate of 180. So that just shows the dominance that he's had against our bowlers, and this actually puts the Rajasthan Royals fans into one condition, that the middle overs phase, where Rajasthan Royals actually do not possess those quality spinners that they used to have before. We have seen Gopal misfiring in the last 2 seasons. We have seen him not being able to perform to his expectations, and someone like Rahul Tewatia, who has done wonders with the bat and with the ball also, but we need someone. Rajasthan Royals need someone who could actually be a wicket taking option in the middle overs, and against a side like Delhi Capitals, who likes to take the bowling attack to its cleaners right from the ball one. So we need wicket taking options in the middle overs. So maybe a possible inclusion for someone like Mayank Markande in place of Shreyas Gopal could be explored, because he has been playing with the Mumbai Indians in 2018. So that could be a wicket taking option Rajasthan Royals could explore. But yeah, certainly Delhi Capitals, even though that they are going to miss someone like Henrik Nokia, who has potentially tested positive, and it is never good to have a player miss out due to testing positive or any injury. So hopefully that works out well for Delhi Capitals in the longer run. But still, they possess a strong side, and they've got almost the perfect balance you can find in an IPL team. So they are actually a formidable unit. And for Rajasthan Royals to beat Delhi Capitals out of all against all odds, they need to fire from ball one, and missing Ben Stokes at the top of the order could be a big shoes to fill, I believe, for someone like maybe Liam Livingstone could be making his way at the top of the order, or Josh Butler could once again open the innings and have an experienced batsman in David Miller at number 4. So possible changes to be explored for both the sides due to injuries. But yeah, it's going to be a cracking contest in Mumbai.
Yeah, I can't see Rajasthan Royals figuring in the top 4. I'm afraid Ben Stokes was extremely important to them from the bat and the bowl, and his presence and his leadership is a huge loss. And Miller, I'm not knocking Miller. I'm not knocking their replacements, but they're not going to have this Ben Stokes ability. Debashis, with your Chelsea hat.
I would definitely agree with Sanchit what he said just now. Obviously, the Delhi Capitals are overwhelmingly favorites to win the match, because with Rabada joining, I think the only weak link as far as the foreign overseas cricketers is concerned was to have Tom Curran in that side. One would have not thought to have Tom Curran at the first count. Obviously, with both Nokia and Rabada quarantining, that gave an opportunity for to fill him. But now that Rabada is back from quarantine, he will definitely make it to that 11, and that will be potentially very strong Delhi Capitals unit with the likes of Marcus Stoinis, Simran Hetmeyer, Chris Wokes, and uh, Kagiso Rabada. So that is a formidable 4 foreigners for me, if you say.
Absolutely. See, I've got a question mark about a few players, namely Saha, I've already told you about. I've even got a question mark about, you're not going to understand this, about Quentin de Kock. I've got a feeling this series is not going to do that well, and hence Chris Lynn should be in that squad. I just feel that after Chris Lynn's start, and de Kock's, okay, he's coming to quarantine, he's had a bit of a delay. I have this feeling that selection decision they should be wary of. Anyway, going. I mean, I haven't talked a lot about Harshal Patel. I still think a lot of him. The Shabhas from both sides, both Shabhas have played very well as well. Must be something about the name that I like. I don't know, but if I've got a player called Shabazz on my side, I feel good. He sounds like Shaban, like it's like ability to take wickets and
But
something about it.
he has been spoken highly of Norman in domestic cricket. Sabah Ahmed, he plays for Bengal, and he has a terrific domestic season last season, with Bengal making it to the finals of the Ranji Trophy, and he's a decent all rounder. We all know, and that to throw him the ball to bowl in that death overs, it speaks volume of the confidence that the captain has it in him. And so I think Savage has done a tremendous job picking that three wickets in that one over, and just changing the complex of the game in just one over. With the and I would say that the most important wicket for me was Biesto. Had he stayed there for one more over, things would have been really different.
Certainly BSO, but also Warner. That Warner, okay, that was his 49th 50 for the IPL. 49th. He has to. Is that the most 50s? It probably is. I'd imagine.
Probably is. Yeah,
Possibly.
probably is. Yeah.
I
He
would
knows
actually
what
like
he's-
to. Yeah, I would actually like to add more about Sabah's bowling in the death overs. I think it could have been inspired because of how Krunal Pandya bowled yesterday against KKR. They are both similar bowlers, left arm orthodox spinners. So maybe that was the reason why Kohli decided to go with Shabazz against the likes of Bairstow and the lower order that SRH had. And I think that is where the role of a captain actually comes into play, and backing your young Indian players in such kind of situation certainly helps. And we all talk about IPL with its all glamour and having all those overseas stars in your team, but I believe that a team which is successful actually has a lot to do because of the domestic talent that they have inside the place. And this season it is certainly RCB are doing that this way, because we have seen in the first match we saw the heroics of Harshal Patel, and this match we have seen a combined RCB performance with the likes of Sabbas with the ball, Mohammad Siraj and Harshal Patel once again. So this is where I think the key difference lies between a possible contender for the title and a team which might not just make it. The gap between the international stars as well as the domestic players should not be too wide. It should be perfectly balanced, and I think that is where RCB are currently going in the right direction, and that is where actually the teams like Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings of the old, and Sunrisers Hyderabad to an extent have been consistently doing over the recent years.
Now, Dan Christian, I keep coming back to him. You look at his stats today. You think, why is he in the team? I'm going to put my money on the fact that Dan Christian, in the background, has been talking about who should bowl, and I'm pretty sure he would have been saying Shahbaz Ahmed. Don't forget, I think Dan Christian came on the bowl before Shahbaz Ahmed. Did he not? For his one over?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so think about that a little bit. Dan Christian's. I want you to have your eyes glued on Kohli and Christian. Go back and replay the tapes. When they're on the sideline, every so many minutes, I think Kohli's neck would be sore. He kept looking at Christian. It was Christian in his eyesight. Their communication is enormous. Even though they've got AB de Villiers there and Maxwell, Dan Christian, what he says almost goes when it comes to the bowling. He's something of great note. You watch. I want you to notice. I want you to write a little bit of paper and put a cross every time you see those two make eye contact. You'd swear they were married, which they're not, by the way. Just to make that
Certainly. And talking about Dan Christian, I think when a guy who has won everywhere, almost everywhere where he played, you need to have certain players in your team, because RCB, though they have not won an IPL over 13 years, they need to have some players who knows actually how to play in certain situation. And Dan Christian, we have seen his record playing for all the franchises all over the world and winning almost everywhere he goes. He could have won it in 2017 with the rising Pune Super Giants, but missed out on the large ball. But yeah, certainly a player like Dan Christian with his immense experience certainly helps aside, and that is only going to get help better and better for RCB, and we will certainly see Dan Christian bowling more than 1 over as the tournaments progress. Definitely.
But example, the Big Bash League here in Australia, Dan Christian was playing for the Sixers. Again, I watched very carefully. He's talking, he's there in the background, he sits back, people go to him and ask a question, they go back. It's almost as if he's got the final say. And he's doing it again. Amazing. Whoever decided to pull him into this side, masterstroke indeed. All right, man of the match was Glenn Maxwell. We kind of expected that. This could be I'm warming to the thought of RCB really threatening Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians. They're going to be a threat. I think that, and I talk about hunger, there's a hunger there. Hunger. Delhi and RCB have got it. Mumbai have got it rather, what's the word for it? Quietly, because of their 2 years of winning. Their mindset's like a Dan Christian at the moment. Debashis, how are you handling it? This is going to be what? Day 6 of 60. You're handling it well?
Yeah, Norman, means with these live shows every day, means it's only 6 days and we still have 54 days to go. I don't know how I will sustain.
Well, yeah.
Never in
By the
my-
50th day, you'll see me like this. I'll be going, yeah. What a great game. All right, what a great game.
and Sanchit, he normally does the live at 4 a.m. in Australian time. Means that speaks the volumes of his passion, his love for the game, and he is just awesome to have in any show. Means his knowledge about the game. And let me take this opportunity to talk little bit about Norman, because he has been covering cricket for decades now. He has anchored several cricket shows. One of them is TV Arcana, if I'm not wrong, talking with the legends like Jeff Thompson and Doug Walters, and you name it. Means he has very, very good contacts with several ex-cricketers from England, Australia, India. So I think Norman's influence to the game is huge. And thank you, Norman, for having you on this platform. And you are doing a tremendous job, and that speaks volumes of your passion to be waking at 4 a.m. in the morning to do the lives.
Hang on. Not waking up for it. I've been watching the game all night. I'm not waking up for it.
I'm sorry.
What are you saying? There's one thing you've forgotten to say, and I expect you to say this. You said other lovely things, which I appreciate. How about my looks? Come on. I mean, I'm so attractive. I mean, how many viewers come to see me with my makeup not even on? Amazing. All right. Sanchit, do you think I'm good looking? Come on, tell me. I know you need glasses, but what do you think?
Well, certainly, I think most of the viewers on the channel are because of your good looks, Norman, and the way you carry the show well. So that actually speaks for itself. And also, Debash is here, so really amazing panels.
Let's just not talk too much about Debashis. He's not as good looking as me. Just keep that quiet. We're talking. Okay. All right. Now, Glenn Maxwell, Dan Christian, mixed with. Actually, I'll throw in potion. I'll throw a bit of Dan Christian, a bit of Glenn Maxwell in there, bit of Coley, a bit of Villiers. Shake it up. You've got a winning side. RCB are there. There's Delhi. RCB's coming up. Mumbai's already at that level. Those three are going to play it off. I can't see anyone else at this early stage really showing up. Maybe we must have some smokies. Punjab Kings maybe might have a bit of a go if everything goes right. But Sunrisers Hyderabad's got some serious problems. If they fix it, they might be in with a chance, but they've got to fix it now. Saha out. Okay? Williamson in. Bairstow open. Finished. No question.
Certainly. And lastly, talking about RCB, though they are looking very much more prominent side in this particular season, but if I was an RCB fan, I would actually worry about my two spinners, that is Washington Sundar and Yuzvendra Chahal, because we have seen Chahal not having that much of an impact in the recent month, and we know that he's actually the prime wicket taking option for a team like RCB. And in the recent years, in the past years, we have seen him being the inspiration from the bowling that they need during the season. But this season, it is actually working out well for them, though these two players are not performing to what we expect from them. They got the likes of Harshal Patel, they and Mohammad Siraj, Dan Christian, Shahbaz Ahmed for that matter, to inspire the bowling to step up one step ahead of what they were last season. So it is actually good signs for them. But in the longer run, if they wish to match the potential of someone like a team like Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians for that matter, they need to put up consistent performance, and that's where these two players need to step up. So I'm definitely banking on someone like Yuzvendra Chahal to once again roll back the days and come back into form right at the right time for the Bangalore team.
In my opinion, for RCB to win, if they make the playoffs, which they probably will, for them to be there, the player that's supposed to come to the fore is Virat Kohli, scoring 100 from opener to the end in the final. Then they're going to win. That's the dominance they need. They need Virat Kohli, as he did in the series recently with England. I love the day. I can't remember which match it was, but he went in an actual final. Let's call it the final of the series. He scored. He opened the batting. He went from another position. He opened the batting with Rohit Sharma. Remember that? That was a tremendous start. Magnificent pairing. Alternatively, with Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma has to do the same. But then they need to get him to score a big 100 in the finals. It's going to come down to those sort of players. And there's your three. Rohit Sharma scoring a ton, 100 in one of the finals, or Virat Kohli, or obviously Punt. They're your three main leaders in those three sides, and they need to actually be clear out there. They're also captains of those teams, aren't they? So there's your three. All right, Debashis, maybe we should go back to talk about my 11 circle.
Absolutely, Norman. We should.
We should definitely do. Let me get my little. So my 11 circle, of course, it's a great fantasy app. I would recommend anyone getting it. I mean, I'm going to put my team together from now on. Let's not forget what they offer. You can win 1 crore in rupees as a first prize, which is an enormous amount of money. You can beat the likes of VVS and get a chance to win 5 times the cash as well. Download this app now and get 1,500 rupees joining bonus and 20% extra cash. I'd be hurrying and make your team now for the next match. I might just get my 11 circles out here. I think I'm pretty much in the spot. I've already put Williamson in there. Okay, all right.
Sanjit, are you in favor of picking fantasy 11 fantasy teams?
Well, given my terrible record of predicting the right player for the right match, I would definitely not see myself. But if I take tips from both of you guys, I would definitely improve in the longer run. So
you can use my crystal ball if you like. It comes at 1 crore an hour. No. What? Now, I mentioned the 1 crore, and my 11 circle comes up again. Is there a computer trigger when I mentioned 1 crore? Pop, that comes on the screen. I think the operator. Oh, it did come up again. The thing is, I think the operator is falling asleep there, and he hears 1 crore, and he panics and puts it on. Is that right? That's what happens.
That might be the case, Norman.
Yeah. When I think of craw as in my hands like craw or something. I still can't get used to this terminology craw. Something unusual for me. So a crore equals 100,000, correct?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Good to just confirming. I better count my crores later. All right. So we're moving into an interesting match as we described earlier. We've got. I love seeing Delhi Capitals play. I'm excited about Delhi Capitals. I can't wait to see them play. They're playing. They're playing a pushover, Rajasthan Royals. Did I say that? Okay. Sorry, I should have said that. Okay, question time. Can you read that?
There's a question, Norman. Saurav Desai. SRH picked Jason Holder ahead of Kane Williamson. Now I won't be surprised if they select Murali as a batsman ahead of Kane in the next match.
It's cheeky. Murali is sitting on the sidelines, isn't he? He's watching. Or is that what? Yeah. So no, I think that's a bit. Also, the presence. There is another person who makes a presence for RCB. I'm seeing Simon Kadich sitting there on the bench. Correct? Simon Kadich is a major
Yes,
influence.
absolutely. Yes.
Major influence. The man is brilliant. I know him personally. I've talked to him many a time about these things. I actually did a leadership conference for the federal government here in Australia, and I was one of the presenters, and Simon Kadich was there with me. We duelled on a platform for the government, so he was excellent. A very clever man, great person to have around the club. I would argue RCB are going to be thanking Simon Kadich for his services this season. All right. We've reached some 56 minutes now in this presentation. We've covered our My 11 circle twice. I haven't had my chocolate biscuit yet, so I'm waiting to have my chocolate biscuit. I think we might finish up there, guys. I think we've had a fantastic session. Sanchit, thank you very much. You've been fantastic. You've got airplane style headsets. Are you taking off? Are you steering your plane off the ground? In fact, it looks like an inside of a 1950s plane you've got there. You've got a great background there, 1950s plane. I don't see any passengers though. But anyway, all right. Maybe you're not supposed to have passengers. All right. So Sanjay's going to take off with his plane. Sebastian's going to land somewhere else very soon with eyes on cricket with Norman Kochnek. We'll see him there very shortly. So everyone, thank you. This is Norman Kochnek here for Extra Time. We haven't got a lot of extra time today. We're going to finish up. But Norman Kochnek from Extra Time. See you at the pre-show tomorrow. All the best, guys.
Thank you,
Yes,
Norman. Thank you, Sanchit.
Thank you, Debashis. Thank you, Norman.